What is up, boys? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video on, I think it's gonna be another meta video. Basically, this is gonna be on like Scipio LC, and we're gonna talk about Hermann. We're gonna talk about, I don't know his name, Azerbaijan, the new archer that came off of MGE, Asher it is. Okay, we're just gonna talk about these four comms. Just about, I want to talk about them in the context of investments for coming out of SOC transition. I think that people think that has changed. It has not really. So SOC transition stuff, I want to talk about, should you be investing in these guys right now? And yeah, that's about it. I also want to talk about how good Scipio LC is. Oh my god. Scipio LC has honestly blown my mind in terms of like how good a pairing of commanders can be. I know we're glazing, boys, but for real, I'm actually flabbergasted by the sheer amount of legwork two columns can put in. It is absolutely crazy. I don't know if Scipio LC is like the strongest March period, because ZL Hermann may actually outperform them. So like if you're like an S tier, your positioning is perfect, everything is perfect, you might have like a slightly better time running like ZL Hermann or something like that. However, man, Scipio LC is almost unmess-upable. I've never seen anything quite so easy to run on the field. It's just not difficult at all. And the investment vehicle is not too bad, because with ZL Hermann, you probably want to expertise both ZL and Hermann. And the reason why is because if you're on the field, like, as far as I know, multiple Hermanns will proc Give Me Back My Legions faster. So if like a few Hermanns are just like hitting stuff at the same time, or if you have like auxiliary skills and like one of those auxiliary skills is Tommy for like Orleans or something like that, Hermann becomes really, really good. So it's like a 1400 sculpture investment. And it's kind of difficult to do because a lot of people already have Boudica, or maybe they already have like YSG or something, and they don't really want to invest in like two commanders when they start, which makes him a little harder. And for 1400 sculptures, I mean, he's still very good, don't get it wrong. But on the flip side, like if I were to invest maybe 390 sculptures, I mean, honestly, I definitely want to expertise Scipio. I think people definitely sleep on this last ability, because Scipio, you can run him at a 5-5-1 or a 5-5-5-1, but like you really want this force skill, bro. Man, reducing damage by 30% half the time, so like 15% reduced skill damage is just like awesome. Right, because we have 15% reduced skill damage there. We're getting 20% infantry health bonus here. We have an extra skill damage reduction of 20% here. We have an extra 20% infantry defense here. We have damage reduction coming out of expansionist here. And then we also have, but you have like a bunch of good stuff in here that just makes you more tanky. So I'm generally, like if you were to go for like emergency protection or like loose formation or stuff like that, like there are really good things that you can have where you take way less damage on Scipio LC that you're just not going to have access to with an Archer March. In general, I would say if there is an investment order, Scipio LC is probably like an S tier first investment. It's just, he just is so good. Scipio can be run with like Mehmed, Ethelfled, Sun Tzu. He can be run with YSG. I think the time of YSG is probably over with the release of Hermann. If I were to restart, I'd probably still invest in YSG. I don't know if I can tell the average player to do so anymore, though. I don't think it makes a lot of sense, just because like I'm a very advanced player. I think maybe if you spend like a decent amount of money, like YSG definitely still has his uses. Like he has really good auxiliary skills. He has like one of the best bastions in the game. There is good use to be had for YSG. It's just hard to justify him now with like ZL Hermann being the March that it is, right? Like ZL is probably outperforming YSG at like 5-5-1-1. So it's really difficult to be like, ah, yes, like let's pick this up. So if I were to choose in a vacuum which marches I wanted with 1400 sculptures, like best cavalry march is probably Nevsky Joan. Best infantry march is Scipio LC. Best archer march is probably ZL Hermann. ZL Hermann is probably gonna hit like a truck, probably gonna be very strong, probably gonna be kind of slow though, and ZL's definitely gonna get focused. Scipio LC basically never gets focused, hits like a truck, tanks a lot of damage, is very noob friendly. Like you make a lot of mistakes with it and be fine. I think people should definitely be focusing more on picking up Scipio and LC comes out. Nevsky Joan is not bad. I would just be very careful with investing into cavalry right now, as we are just finishing this archer cycle. So we're going to be looking at leadership and then cavalry afterwards. If I were to guess who's getting replaced, I assume they're going to have a stronger nuker than Nevsky come out. So it's going to be, actually no, because we just had QB. So this is going to be a secondary to QB. It should be coming out. So like Nevsky worked well with Joan. We should have something with QB, I think. They could also go for smite damage. It has been theorized by one of my comments. I can't remember your name, so I'm going to credit you by just saying you exist. So sorry about that. That Saladin has both a healing reduction and a slow on one of his abilities. And so perhaps they're going to make a commander that can kind of synergize with that in the same way that Hermann has some kind of synergy with Tommy, that LC has some kind of synergy with Alex, that perhaps this last one will have some kind of synergy with Saladin, and that'll have something to do with applying both a slow and a healing reduction. Personally, that sounds actually like hot garbage. That sounds horrific. If it's like a smite damage commander that like does more damage if there's like a healing debuff on it, that'd be kind of disgusting. I guess like cavalry is doomed in that case. Let's say make that commander like disgustingly broken. But right now, I don't know if I want to invest in like a Nevsky Joan. Going for Nevsky Mina is probably fine as like one of your first investments as soon as you hop into KVK 3, since cavalry is your first wheel. But in a vacuum, I'm basically never taking Nevsky Joan over like Scipio LC or even Zeal Hermann. I think Zeal Hermann is probably stronger at this point. Well, they're different. I would say Nevsky Joan is probably a safer march. You can make more mistakes with it just because it's cavalry. Zeal Hermann, you really can't be making mistakes with. I know people love to see these really big damage numbers, but you have to remember, like, a lot of these really late game whales have really solid gear sets. They have great gear. They have like a lot of people in their murder ball. Like if you have like a brand new kingdom, your brand new kingdom is not going to be able to have the numbers that other kingdoms do. When you try to compare, say, how Zeal Hermann is doing in like 960 against like 1034 on a bridge fight that lasts like 16 hours, it's not going to compare, right? Like you are not going to be able to get from point A to point B in the same way that they do. You're not going to have the same gear, you're not going to have the same tech, you're not going to have the same experiences, and you're not going to have the same just like march control either. Because like as they push and pull, like their marches aren't just getting demolished. But if you're on like a smaller seed, like you really are going to get demolished. The march that is basically never ever going to do you wrong in any capacity is going to be Scipio LC. That march is crazy right now. Commanders that I would probably avoid investing in right now, I don't think I would invest in, especially as like early investments. I don't know if I'd be investing in William right now. I think the next cavalry commander probably replaces him. I would not be investing in Nebuchadnezzar. I don't think he makes a lot of sense. Even if you're running like multiple archer marches, I definitely wouldn't be investing in Guan right now. Guan is good, but he's good as like, you'd have to buy Guan at dailies and he'd have to be like your like 6th march, I think, right? Like I would much rather have like Scipio LC, Nevsky Joan, QB William, ZL Hermann, and maybe Boudica Asher or Boudica YSG. No, probably Boudica Asher, I think. Asher's pretty strong. Or maybe it'd be something like, no, yeah, I think I like Asher a lot. He's not bad at all. He's just like a better Nebu. So I mean, you could also find a way where you'd run like Boudica Asher, and that'd just be like a faster way to run Boudica, and she'd do a bunch of damage and it wouldn't be too bad. I don't really like him a ton. I wouldn't be focusing a ton on him. He's like Nebu, except slightly better, I guess. I don't know if I'd be running like Nebu very ecstatically right now. I wouldn't be investing in Nebu either. So just focus on Hermann, run CL Hermann, Boudica like YSG or something, and kind of call that a day, pretty sure. Last part of the video, I almost forgot. YSG, I don't think he's worth, I know I said this earlier in the video, but I just want to kind of put this one out there. I don't think anybody should really be investing in YSG anymore. Like, we've already passed the time of Alex the Great. I think we've passed the time of YSG. There might be some, like, if I restarted, I would do it, but I don't think you guys should do it. And that's kind of what I'll say on it. I'm sure like people have been waiting a long time for me to drop that one, be like, oh, you know, YSG's time has passed. I really think this is probably it. I don't see there's a, like, it takes about 500,000 gems, 600,000 gems to invest in a 0 to 100 legendary. It is kind of crazy to put that many gems into YSG right now. And that is all I will say on the situation. Anyway, this has just been like a quick little rundown on the meta as I look through these commanders and I see them and my thoughts on it and what I'm going to run and all that good stuff. So if you guys enjoyed this type of content, you guys can feel free to like, comment, subscribe. You guys can always donate to the Streamlabs link in the description below. If you guys want to contact me while I'm not live, make sure you go to that Discord in the description below and join that. And yeah, catch you guys later. Take it easy. Bye.